run for California by lawyer and Republican Party official Harmeet Dillon and the youngest woman ever elected to the California State Senate, Democratic State Senator Melissa Hurtado. Good morning to both of you. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. So, Harmeet, let's start with you, because when we see comments like those that we've just seen from President Donald Trump, I think it's hard for us in the UK to sort of fathom his ongoing appeal when it comes to leading America. But why do you think that President Trump should or potentially will get a second term?
Well, if you only show snarky, out of context videos like the ones you just did without showing the racist comments that the contender has made and the other out-of-touch gaffes he has done, you might get a biased perspective. However, the president has led the largest economic boom in American history. He has grown jobs in every sector. He has made America first in terms of our national security. And he has cut taxes on middle-class Americans. And so what Joe Biden and his running mate promise are $4 trillion in tax increases, $10 million in job losses in certain economy sectors, energy sectors, open borders, illegal immigrants, 11 million of them becoming citizens, and really no plan for moving America forward in the same trajectory as the president did prior to the Chinese virus derailing our economy. So as we've seen from the recent polls, the CNN poll that just came out, which I thought you were going to mention, the race has actually tightened to within the margin of error in that poll. And particularly in the battleground states, it's tightening. And so that's actually showing Joe Biden's appeal dropping going into the Democratic.
But he's still leading at the moment. He's still above President Donald Trump.
He really isn't. They're in the margin of error. So if you look at the polls accurately and tell your viewers accurately what they're saying,
Biden's now at 50% and Trump's at 46%?
Margin of error. You know how polls work? That's how they work.
Right. So only because he's not leading, so we're now talking margin errors. But let's get to some of the detail here. And the issue of the pandemic. We had a global pandemic, but which bit of out of context do you mean when we have the leader of America, probably the biggest leader in the world, talk about taking disinfectant, recommending that we take certain drugs that medical professionals will be so against? What bit of out of context are we not getting?
Well, that is a lie, of course. The top experts at Stanford University, physicians and many physicians around the world, are taking hydroxychloroquine prophylactically. So for you to say that that's not what medical professionals are recommending is frankly false.
So are you recommending that now? Are you recommending that we should be taking that? Are you saying we should? But neither is Donald Trump.
I do not give medical advice.
But therefore, should Donald Trump have given medical? Well, therefore, based by the
experts.
Well, based
the opinions of many experts.
All right. Okay. So based by your own advice, should your leader not have given that advice? Which is essentially the question I was asking. Is that he's not a doctor? Why was he giving medical advice? You just said that you
because he is the leader of the free world, repeating the opinions of many doctors in America. Some doctors agree with it. Some doctors don't.
So
many doctors are taking it, many doctors are not.
So are you taking that drug at the moment?
Why would I? I'm not sick, and neither I'm in the healthcare industry.
But would you, if you were ill, would you take that?
Absolutely. If I were ill, I would take it in a second. Right.
OK. And so from your position, you think that Donald Trump has been absolutely brilliant in leading this pandemic, despite the fact that you've got, 160,000 deaths now in America?
Oh, you're calling it odd thousand. Every one of those deaths matters. And a lot of those deaths are in blue states like the one that I'm in, including a lot of elderly people who are not treated correctly, people in prison, people in other facilities like that. So I think that blue state Democratic governor certainly could have done a better job. But our system of government is a little bit different than yours. And the police power and how those things are handled is mainly handled by 50 governors in the United States.
Well, let's bring in Melissa at this point, because, Melissa, I mean, when we look at those polls, Harmeet was saying there's a margin of error. That gap is narrowing. Biden leads Trump by just 4 points. That's compared to 14 points in June. So his popularity, is that waning, would you say?
You know, quite frankly, we work hard, and that's the bottom line. That's Joe Biden, and we take nothing for granted. And so he will continue working hard. Americans that are behind Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and those that have yet to be behind them, we're all going to continue working hard to make sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get elected.
But why has he had this drop then, do you think?
I mean, we're not necessarily concerned about it yet, but that doesn't mean we're not going to continue from working hard. I mean, Joe Biden, if you look at the primary, everybody thought he was going to lose, and he proved that he obviously got the nomination, and he will be receiving the nomination this week.
But shouldn't he be doing better at this stage when we look at everything that's going on? You know, we've just played those clips of what President Trump had been saying about the coronavirus, how he's been dealing with the pandemic, the situation with the economy. Shouldn't Joe Biden be soaring ahead in the polls?
Well, as we get closer to the election, I think that the polls will get more narrow, but, you know, we're taking nothing for granted. We're going to continue to work hard to make sure that Joe Biden wins. That's, you know, the bottom line.
What's the Democratic response to some of the claims that Harmeet made there that actually, you know, that there's less tax for some of the poorer people, that unemployment is better now, with more employment now in America since Trump has taken over?
I mean, all you have to do is really look at the facts that we are in today. People are out of jobs. There's high unemployment across the nation. And it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. It's devastating for the people of America. And if that's the America that we want to continue forward with, I mean, that's Donald Trump. But a Joe Biden America will bring back better. And that means more jobs and opportunities for all those that want it. And that means, you know, communities of color and immigrants. It's an America for all.
Do you think, Melissa, that Joe Biden has done as well as he has done because he's not Donald Trump, rather than necessarily he is the right candidate to be able to do well?
Absolutely. Joe Biden is someone that listens. He is someone that understands. He's someone that's effective at getting things done. He has a track record of showing that he can get things done. For example, the Affordable Care Act, the Violence Against Women Act, and you know, making sure that he got the economy back and going when under you know, the Obama administration.
Let me speak to you again, Harmeet. When you look at something like Donald Trump questioning, he's done this before, he's got history, he did it with the former President Obama, he's now doing it with Kamala Harris, questioning her citizenship, basically, questioning whether she's actually a true American. As yourself, as a person of colour, taking the politics aside of all of that, doesn't that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable that it's a person of colour, you're both from minority community groups in America, President Trump questioning her right to be American based on nothing? Doesn't that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable?
Well, so the way you just put it is completely a lie. A reporter asked him a question, and he disagreed with that. He did not say that is his position. He said some people are saying, and subsequently, his chief of staff has shot that down and said, absolutely, the White House believes that she is eligible. Of course she is eligible. You know, by comparison, I was born in India. I am not eligible. So these facts are clear, and it does not matter one bit of difference to me. I think that we should focus on the issues here, and the issues are that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are going to take this country in totally the wrong direction, the far left extreme. And the states that are in play here are not the states that are going to go for that type of extremism. Those blue states on the coast where these two come from are not where middle America is wanting to vote. And so I think that we are very confident that as we get closer to the election and the president continues to be out there doing his job as a president while Joe Biden continues to hide in his basement and being shielded by his handlers from a debate and from engaging and from going in front of the voters, that voters are going to increasingly see that 4 more years is exactly what we need in this country.
Just quickly, if Donald Trump was to get in for another 4 years, is there anything you'd like to see him do differently? Politicians should learn. They learn as they go through one term into the next, or every politician, every president has. Is there anything at all you think Donald Trump can learn from his first 4 years in office and how he should readapt and change in the next 4 years?
Absolutely. The president who was elected for the first time to anything, I think, took on trust a lot of the advisors recommended to him by establishment Republicans and others. That was a mistake. He should have fired a lot of those people earlier. He has said that. And I think going forward in his next 4 years, he's going to hire people who are America first, who are supporting of his candidacy and his goals and his vision for America. And I think that's something that he could do better. And I know that he will.
And just a quick word for you, Melissa, on this situation with the postal votes, because Donald Trump is claiming that mass postal voting could make it impossible to know the results of the election for months or years. So he's stepping up this campaign against mail-in voting, which could damage the Democrat vote, because more Democrats are likely to vote by post. So do you sort of fear that there's sabotage going on here?
I definitely do. But I believe more in the people of America. And, America is respected across the world for fair, free elections. And I know that Americans will do everything that they need to do to protect that, even if that means taking on Donald Trump.